Did using this physical device reduce my screen time? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to DumbphonesUK. My name's Joseph. I look at dumb or dumber devices on the UK market. And today, we're not even looking at a phone, we're looking at the Brick device. Now this little device is something that I've shown you before in this video. This is where I covered off what this device does, how it works, and everything in between. We've come to the point where we're going to see the results of me using this device for a couple of weeks. I actually ended up using it for a bit longer than I was intending to, and I'd say the results are pretty impressive. What this video is going to do is it's going to cover off me using this device, anything that I found when I was using it, any problems, any issues, all the good things about using the device, and anything else in between. As ever, please do like, please do subscribe. It really helps me, it helps you, it helps the channel. It means I can bring you more phones. Just this week, I've got the Mudita Compact, the Light Phone 3, the Minimal phone has also arrived. So I've got so many more phones that are coming to this channel, and that is all because of you people subscribing. So please do subscribe. It means I can do more and I can help you out. Before we hop into the video, I just want to run through the idea behind the Brick. The idea behind it is that Brick feel like people often still need a smartphone. So that might be for tapping to pay, that might be for credit cards, that might be for QR codes, things along those lines. And so what the Brick does is by setting some rules, tapping it with your phone, it will brick certain apps, and then by tapping it again, it will unbrick those apps. So for example, a lot of people use it for social media. That's something I did. And so what I can do is tap this and then I'm out and about. There is no way, it's not strictly true, we'll go into that. There's no way that I can access Instagram while I'm out and about. Whereas when I'm back at home and want to intentionally use the app, click away on this, use it, and then brick it back up again. So that is the thought behind it. Did that work? The Brick device is just a little NFC chip. So within here, there's an NFC chip, and the device itself has a magnet on the back. In my original video, I showed you that I plopped it on my fridge and on my radiator. Just to run over very quickly how this works, I have an application on my device. So this is my trusty iPhone 10, not very good, broken, battered and bruised, but very useful for all of these tests that we run. So there is a application here called Brick, you can see. I click that, and you can see, after a little bit of load time, that I've currently got my device bricked. But you can see that it's been bricked for 17 hours and it keeps on rolling in. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what that means on my device. So within my device, if I go to my social section, you can see all of my social apps, apart from Signal, which is not an app that I currently have downloaded, are currently bricked. So if I try to open Instagram, you can see I get this pop up. This is a distraction. Your phone is currently bricked. To access Instagram, tap your brick. OK, and by clicking OK, it just closes it. So it's nice and simple to hop in and unbrick it. All I do is I click this big button here, and it says, scan the top of your phone on the brick. There we go, you can see that's done that. You can see that I can now load them. So if I hop into Reddit, you can see that that loads as expected. Typecast, all of my Reddit is about dumb phones. And then if I wanted to brick it again, nice and simple, click it, and I'm bricked again. So nice and simple to use. I guess the big question is, how much have I been using this device? So within this device, we can see activity. So today, I've had my device bricked for 15 hours and 29 minutes, and obviously that is counting, and I can scroll all the way back to when I started using this brick, and you can see I tried it for the first day on April the 3rd. I then didn't use it 4th and 5th, and then gradually the bricking of my device started to ramp up and up. And you can see, as an example, on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, you can see that I bricked it, actually, even all through that week. I just left it bricked. So this meant that I wasn't picking up my phone. So I have been using it an awful lot. You can see my daily average of bricking is 15 hours and 24 minutes. What are my settings? What do I have? I currently have two settings. So I have a no social and a writing setting. So my writing setting, if I go into it, I block 50 apps, and 50 is the maximum amount of apps that you can block. And then I also have the no social setting, which is a bit simpler. I just block 7 apps. So I have these two settings, and I mostly, unless I'm writing, use the no social setting. And then I just wanted to cover over the settings as well within the Brick device. We do have emergency unbricks that you are able to use. So emergency unbricking allows you, if you do not have access to this brick, if you do not have this available to you, you can use these emergency unbricks and it will allow you to unbrick your device out and about. However, with only having 5 of them, you have to be really thoughtful. I believe that they are looking to implement a policy whereby if you run out of your 5, you may then have to pay to get more. It makes you think more intentionally about usage on your device. So as we can see, I've been using this device an awful lot. Looking at the 21st to the 28th of April there, and we can see, on average, I use my device for 1 hour 18 a day. That is the average, so you can see that it was down 9% from the week before. Let's just go through my other weeks as well to show you where else I ended up. So again, the week later, 28th of April to the 5th of May, well, I crept up to 1 hour 38. I think 1 hour 38 is okay, something I'm okay with. And then let's go to last week, and you can see that I went down slightly, 1 hour 22. So the main usage I have is currently on WhatsApp, as you can see here. And then finally, let's show this week. I've not really used my device at all this week. In fact, the most used part of it currently is Notes and Brick, and I've been writing about this video in Notes, and I've been using the Brick device. It has vastly reduced my screen time. There we have it. We can see that the brick has reduced my screen time. Now, as we saw in the previous video, my screen time was at about roughly 2 hours. I think about 1 hour 48, if I remember correctly. And what we saw when we went into my screen time app on here was that I never went above that. And I'm pretty confident that is in a big way due to using the brick device. I have 2 of these devices around my house. I have one on the fridge, and then I actually have one that roams with me a little bit more. And that might be something that might sound slightly odd, but why I have it often with me, or at least in some cases, one, when I'm doing a lot of driving with gigging, I end up doing a lot of driving. I like to have this in the car with me because there are instances where if I'm gigging, I will need to contact somebody, and that might be through Instagram. Often you get booked through Instagram. I need to make sure that I have that as an option. So that's why this sometimes is in the car glove box, or it might be that I go to a gig and I want to take a photo, put that on social media, and then I want to brick my phone again so that I don't feel tempted or want to use Instagram. So some cases it has come with me, but more often than not it's stayed at home and I just pop it on the radiator and it stays there. Couple of things that I want to discuss about the brick device are, number one thing that's really nice is that if you block an app, by default it then blocks all of the websites as well. So if you tried to access Instagram via Safari, it would obviously block that and tell you the same message. It would tell you it's been bricked and you can't access it. I think that's very useful. I really like the emergency unbrick feature as well. I like that they have thought that there are going to be some instances where we might need to unbrick our devices without having access to this, and so it shows that the people really care and think about it. So I do like that. I've never used them myself. I can think of instances where people might need to use them, and it just shows a bit of thought into this little device, which is great. And then I think the final thing as well, the final point that I want to chat about is the fact that some people will feel like they need a smartphone, whether that is to access WhatsApp, whether that is to make sure that you can video call somebody. Those things are important, and I know my channel is called Dumb Phones, but look at the phones that I'm reviewing. They're not, in fact, most of them aren't dumb phones, and I think it's really important to remember that. There are different iterations. There are dumb phones, smartphones, transition devices, feature phones, phones. Whatever you want to call them, there is a device that is going to be perfect for somebody, and I think this could be really useful for some people because it will allow you to lock down apps that you don't want to be using all the time, but still let you have those apps. And I think that's a really good idea. One or two things I wanted to chat about in terms of what I think could be improved with the brick. Once or twice when I was using it, when I went to scan it, I got a little cross that said, "This is not a brick NFC." Like a little cross popped up, and then I went to scan it again and it was absolutely fine. I think it's an app. Things go wrong, that's fine. It didn't happen all the time, and obviously I was in a position where I could just tap it and try again. Not a problem, thought it was worth mentioning. I guess the second thing to mention, not necessarily a con, is that you need to be quite disciplined with this. You obviously need to set up the different accounts for you, or I suppose you could be a parent or a guardian and you could be setting up what people can access. So I use it to block apps, but you could do one where it allows access to apps, and it might be, a parent with their child, and if you tap it on the brick you can access those apps and you can have 10 minutes with them, then you can turn it off. I do think the fact that you have to set it up yourself, you need to be invested and wanting to use this device, and obviously that goes with all features, phones, smartphones, transition devices, anything like that. I do think it's worth calling out because this is only going to be as good as you are, because I could just set everything up and then not brick my device, which obviously wouldn't be useful. It would then mean that I could, when I'm in bed, go on Instagram, scroll on Instagram. With this, if I tap it, I can't do that unless I want to get out of bed, tap it, check it, and then it adds a layer of difficulty to it. And that might sound like a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That sort of friction, that level of hardness is something that I'm striving for. That's something that I'm looking for when I'm trying to not use my phone as much. There we have it. That was the result of me using this brick for almost longer than a month, given its fairly low price point. I think it's a really good entry and something slightly different in this market. So that's why I wanted to do a video on it. If you enjoyed it, please do like, please do subscribe. It helps me, it helps you, it helps the channel. It just helps everyone. I'd really appreciate it as well. It'd be really kind. Other than that, behave yourselves. I will see you soon. I am off to brick my phone. Bye-bye.